Good afternoon for those of you who are following the busking and my adventures of converting my 34-foot 1988 Thomas school bus into a home. I've been working on etching the floors and got everything I'm going to get done as far as getting rid of rust. It's been converted, or it's in a good enough state to where I can put JB weld on just a very few bad patches and the rest can be covered with Rust-Oleum paint and then other paint, and then I go for my insulation in my subfloors. Every hole here will have a penny epoxied over, and I'll just show you. I think I'm going to have enough pennies. I've been saving pennies for years. Every time I found a penny, I would make a wish for either who lost it or somebody I thought who needed a wish, or those who were in ill health, or just wish for things that, nothing greedy, but things that I thought should happen. You know, like you make a wish in a well. I would make a wish and put it in a penny, but usually you make a wish for mostly others. So now all of those pennies are going to be in my bus, and I'm just going to take them all with me and carry those wishes, that good energy, forever for everybody, and just continue to be well-wishing them and perpetuating that good mojo, and that's a superpower. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. But a couple things I want to show you. These I'm 55 last month. I bought these the summer I was 15. So these are officially 40 years old. When I lived in Staten Island, one of them went walkabout, and I had my oldest son, who was I think 11 at the time, go scour the neighborhood, and he found it. A dog had taken it, but he found it. So both of them intact after 40 years. I just find that incredible. Not that I'm a hoarder or anything. I've got many shoes, but these are just the ones I've always gone to when I go to the river or when I do stuff out here, but I'm barefoot. And another thing I wanted to show you, this I'm kind of tickled about. I couldn't find the right particularities, anyway, things to finish my composting toilet the way I wanted. So I finally went to Hardware Sales, where I got a funnel. Well, let's see. First of all, I got this funnel because this part unscrews from this, and I may switch to that if the method that I chose to use instead doesn't work particularly well. But I think what I've used, and I'll show you in a minute. Anyway, this was at Hardware Sales for like $3. Then I got this tubing, and I'd have to look and see how much I spent on that, but I've got a yard of tubing, which was just enough without cutting it all. And what I did, so this is one of those squatty potty, those bathroom posture correctors to help you eliminate your colon with less strain, and it actually does work. I've had a lot of bowel involvement with my lupus and have a really rough time sometimes, and this does just kind of alleviate some of that pressure, because our bodies are kind of meant to squat to eliminate, and that helps. So anyway, knowing that I was going to be having that in there anyway, I made a hole here just above that, so the hose, which is still a little bit pinched there, but I can fix that with a clamp or something, run this down the side where it goes into this very, very clever bucket. It's just the right height. If I set it on the ground this way, the pee will go right into it because it's all centrifugal. As long as I tell them, I guess, at the end, just kind of go, tip it that way, make sure the pee goes down. My grandkids are going to love that they can watch their pee go down here and into the bucket. One of the nice things is, and this was $9, I can go as much or as little as I need to. When it's time to empty it, just tilt it up. The lid is not watertight, so you've got to be careful with that. Of course, you wouldn't be doing this one-handed. I had a cork that I just kind of whittled out some stuff. I can hang on to that. Anyway, put that in there, tote it to where I need to, and empty it. And then come back and just plug it back in. And the inside, here, let me, there we go. The inside, I couldn't find the appropriate funnel. Oh, and by sitting that right behind where I need to, it gives me just enough space to open my toilet lid so it doesn't bounce back this way, and I'm not having to sit, with a toilet seat that way. It rolls back. This, for all you gents who might be interested, is about where a woman pees, and it doesn't touch the parts, and it runs fast enough. I didn't bring any water out here, but you can see. I'll take this off now. All of the waste, number 2 stuff will go in there, and I'll show you what I've got for that. I'm just not really prepared. Done already. Anyway, this is the composting material that you'll put on top. It's just 60% cocoa pith or cocoa core from coconuts. Oh, and 40% peat, and just mixed. Both the cocoa core has to be reconstituted to where it's really dry and fluffy. You put it in there, and that should be enough for a long time, because you just cover whatever you make. You just cover your poop with. I don't know if I've shown you. This was my grandfather's chamber pot. It still has a line in it. Here's a brick of the cocoa core. Yeah, it probably has my DNA and my grandparents and my grandmother and siblings and cousins. Anyhow, it won't come out. It's etched into the enamel. So, go number 2 in there. Just cover it, just kind of like you would with a cat does with kitty litter. And then, of course, you just close the lid. Just like you would at home if you're a gentleman. But the pee doesn't go in here. The pee keeps that dry. So the problem I understand with composting toilets is that when the pee and the poop mix is when it gets smelly, because you get more of a soupy stuff, and of course that's going to stink. But the dry stuff doesn't smell as soon as it's dry. So if you keep the pee separate by going down into there and just emptying that when you need to, which will probably get more full for me, especially while I'm out here working on my bus, because I'll probably just poop in the house, which, we all poop. That's a matter of life. But I'm really proud of this, because I've seen lots and lots of people on YouTube making composting toilets, and bless, that we all get these ideas and share them, just like I'm going to do here. I'll plug that back in later. And if need be, I'll put some kind of a gasket around there so it well and truly won't leak. It won't leak from there because I put silicone in it, around it, both sides. Then you can just, while you're sitting there, you can just pull this out, and it actually helps with the gravity of that more. But yeah, to keep your pee and your poop separate and still have room to do both, and have a flow. I poured 2 little Dixie cups of water in there last night simultaneously, and it didn't overflow. They both went down no problem. So I will devise a way that when I'm traveling, I can just attach these either to the wall, and it'll hold everything back there together like that, and then just unbungee it when you're done, or heck, just leave it attached all the time, or just build a cabinet around it. But so far it's the best design that I've seen for a composting toilet for a schoolie. And so on that note, I am going to show you what I'm doing here. Today I will be putting all those pennies down in all the holes, and then painting for rust, painting the whole floor, and new floors and insulation. Then it's really feel like home. So thanks for following along.